Hey everybody, Fran Harris. Welcome to Fran TV, the internet's most provocative show on how to improve your life and business. So today we're talking about the old adage, the customer is always right. You've probably heard that, right? The customer's always right. The customer's always right. You know the customer's always right. So I want to talk about that and ask you the question, is the customer always right? Here's what I have to say. The customer is not always right, but the customer does have a point. And here's what I'm talking about. So we say the customer is always right because we know as entrepreneurs, as business builders, as empire builders, that if we tick off enough of our customers, we won't have a business. Meaning if we don't treat our customers well, if we don't take care of the customer, we will cease to exist. So that's what it means by the customer is always right. We don't necessarily think that the customer is always right in every dealing that we have with customers. But we never lose sight of the fact that if we're not taking care of business on the customer love front, then we will not have a business. We will become very irrelevant very quickly. So here's what I want you to think about when you're dealing with your customers, whether you are someone with an online business or enterprise or someone with a brick and mortar business. You have to be on top of your customer service. And here's the thing, even if you have a customer who is not right per se, because we've dealt with a few of those in my 20 years of owning my own company, we've had customers who were flat out wrong. But I believe there was, and there is, an opportunity in every single dealing that you have with your customers. There's an opportunity to do more of the things that are right with your customers, and when something doesn't go right with the customer, there is an opportunity for you as an entrepreneur to do something different. Let me give you an example. Recently had an event in Dallas where there was tons of snow in a season where there should not have been any snow in Texas. And I was doing an event and was expecting everybody to be here and to get here and to be on time and all the attendees and speakers to get here. Well, it turned out with the snow, people could not get in. People simply could not get in. Now, as it turns out, we were able to have the event. There was still snow outside, but there were no driving issues. The snow was out there, but the roads somehow miraculously were fine in most of parts of the city. But some people didn't come to the event because, frankly, they just didn't want to be bothered with the snow and getting out, and maybe for them it didn't feel safe for them to get out. But my company made a decision to have the event anyway, all right? And we had well over 100 people show up for the event. So that shows you it wasn't that dangerous. Now here's the thing, here's the opportunity, and here's the lesson that we learned as a company. Because we were expecting this to be weather that was fine and people were going to be able to come to the event with no problem, we didn't have a rain policy in place. We didn't have a refund policy in place that let people know what was going to happen should they not come to the event. Now that's a huge, huge mistake. We had a regular refund policy there, but we didn't have in case it monsoons and in case there is a hurricane and you can't come for some reason, or in case there's snow, you can't come. We didn't have that in place, and we learned a very, very valuable lesson because there were some people who, as I said, who just didn't show up. They could have, but they didn't show up, and then a few of those people asked for refunds. Now, we had a small refund policy in place that said if you live in Dallas, basically, there's no reason you can't be at this event. We're at this event. 100 other people are at this event. Okay? So, but what about those people who felt just by their own dealings that they could not do it? They didn't want to make it. What I'm sharing with you, why I'm telling you this story, is that you need to go, and just listening to me talk about this, make sure that your refund policy is very well spelled out and that it covers a very comprehensive array of circumstances and situations which people will or will not get refunds. Very important, because in this instance, the customer was right and the customer was not right. And we took care of most of the customers who had valid reasons for not getting to the event. We made sure we did the right thing, but there were some instances that were right on the line where customers were asking for refunds that probably should not have gotten refunds, and had we been more specific and more definite and a little out of that gray area with our refund policy, they just would have been out of a refund. That's just the way it is. You can't do business if you're constantly giving people money back who shouldn't get money back, all right? Sometimes there are opportunities to do the right thing, and sometimes there are opportunities that customers are just going to have to realize that once they step over a certain line, there's no going back. All right, so we'll see you next time. Remember, build community, not just your business. Take care.